I've been good. How about yourself? You staying safe out there?
I'm staying safe. I'm in the middle of the woods.
Very safe.
Yeah, very safe. Yes.
Yeah,
The coast. Yeah, it's been. And you doing good?
I'm
You
good.
staying safe?
I am good. I just hopped off another Zoom call with all the GoBros, and I was just saying that I actually feel better than normal. It's just, a lot of contact with people over the phone. A lot slower pace in life, right? Kind of get
Yeah.
to. I don't know. It's been great, actually.
Yeah, I
Nice
agree.
seeing you too.
What's that?
I said nice seeing you too.
Yeah, nice seeing you as well. And I see right next to you, at least on my screen, is Usha. Hey, Usha. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Good Saturday morning, everybody. How's everybody doing out there? Are we ready for some family fun?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our pleasure to take you through this and walk you through it. Hey, Jared, let's see what song they might want to hear to kick us off. If you have a favorite Brother James song and you want to hear it, put it in the chat box right now. We'll see what requests we have.
Or if you're unmuted, you could just say it.
Yeah. Emmy said "Mama."
Oh, she said, "Mama." You want that, Emmy? All right, this one goes out to Emmy. Waking up to life, I look into your eyes, feel the love inside. Your heart beats next to mine, driving home to write the next chapter of our life. I'm grateful for the time and energy you provide. Breakdowns and still you're here right by my side. Find out what we're made of as we move through the times. You're giving me love and hugs. You're always there for me when I need you. You're like the sun and the moon up above, shining your light on me with so much love. Growing up so quick, you've always let me live my life supportive. We built this brick by brick, memories, they'll stick. You'll always live within. I'm grateful for the time and energy you provide. Breakdowns and still you're here right by my side. Find out what we're made of as we move through the times. You're giving me love and hugs. You're always there for me when I need you. You're like the sun and the moon up above, shining your light on me with so much love. I want to thank you, Mama, for doing what you do. And I want you to know that I love you. I want to thank you, Mama, for doing what you do. And I want you to know that I love you. Want to thank you, Mama, for doing what you do. And I want you to know that I love you. You're giving me love and hugs. You're always there for me when I need you. You're like the sun and the moon up above, shining your light on me with so much love. Thank you, Mama, for doing what you do. And I want you to know that I love you. Want to thank you, Mama. That one goes out to Emmy.
All right. Woo!
Woo!
Yahoo!
Good call, Emmy.
Clapping doesn't mute that. Clapping doesn't work that well when you're muted.
Yeah, clapping doesn't work that well. I've been doing snaps.
Gotta get you playing some jazz.
Jazz.
Cool.
Jazz.
Well, maybe we'll come back to a little Brother James music a little later on in the program here, but I just wanted to take a moment. I'm Mike McCarthy. This is my wife, Lindsay, and my son, Tyler, and my daughter, Ember. And we are the co-founders of Fambundance, and we just wanted to welcome you here on this Saturday morning to spend some time with us. What we're going to be going over today is really important. And wow, aren't these extraordinary times that we're living in right now and experiencing? Transformation is afoot, as they say, and it's upon us and all around us. And so whether we want to change or not right now affords us the perfect opportunity to make positive change, not only in our lives, but in our businesses and certainly with our families, because we're doing life fully together right now, aren't we? We are with our families, and we are in a position where we have an opportunity to bring out the best of who our families can be, not only for ourselves and each other, but also because I firmly believe that if we can have really strong families in this place, in the United States, in the world, in every country, every city, if we have strong families, it's strong families that will impact the world. It's those families working together that will make it their mission to change the world and to bring positive change. So I think we're in an interesting time, and a time that gives us a tremendous opportunity. I wanted to read to you, to start us off here, a poem that was written on March 13th, 2020 by Brother Richard Hendrick. And this is, it's no surprise that he's an Irish priest, by the way. So, and he really came up with some beautiful words that I want to share with you. And the poem is called Lockdown. Yes, there is fear. Yes, there is isolation. And yes, there is panic. Yes, there is sickness. Yes, there is even death. But they say that in Wuhan, after so many years of noise, you can hear the birds again. They say that after just a few weeks of quiet, the sky is no longer thick with fumes, but blue and gray and clear. They say that in the streets of Assisi, people are singing to each other across the empty squares, keeping their windows open so that those who are alone may hear the sounds of family around them. They say that a hotel in the west of Ireland is offering free meals and delivery to the housebound. Today, a young woman I know is busy spreading flyers with her number through the neighborhood so that the elders may have someone to call on. Today, churches, synagogues, mosques, and temples are preparing to welcome and shelter the homeless, the sick, the weary. All over the world, people are slowing down and reflecting. All over the world, people are looking at their neighbors in a new way. All over the world, people are waking up to a new reality, to know how big we really are and to how little control we really have, to what really matters, to love. So we pray and we remember that, yes, there is fear, but there does not have to be hate. Yes, there is isolation, but there does not have to be loneliness. Yes, there is panic buying, but there does not have to be meanness. Yes, there is sickness, but there does not have to be disease of the soul. And yes, there is even death, but there can always be a rebirth of love. Wake to the choices you make as to how to live now. Today, breathe. Listen behind the factory noises of your panic. The birds are singing again. The sky is clearing. Spring is coming, and we are always encompassed by love. Open the windows of your soul, and though you may not be able to touch across the empty square, sing. So, Brother James, thanks for helping us to find the music inside of ourselves and in the world right now. We really appreciate you literally bringing us the music that we need to hear. It's such an honor. And Brother James is one of our team members, and he's been working with teenagers and kids in schools throughout the country. He's done over 100 schools where he's facilitated live to audiences of kids and teenagers. He's also a musical facilitator, and he works with corporations, teams, organizations, and communities to bring out the best within those systems. And he uniquely, and in my opinion, unfairly gets to bring music and his beautiful voice as a secret hidden talent to his facilitation. The rest of us, we have to just rely on our good looks and our smooth talking, but Brother James gets to bring in the music too. I also want to introduce, as one of our team members, my wife, Lindsay, and she wrote and co-authored with myself and Hal Elrod, The Miracle Morning for Parents and Families. I really suggest you check that out right now, because what could be even more important than a weekly routine, which is what we're covering today, is what's your daily routine. And we've written a book that's all about how to get up and pour into yourself and secure your own oxygen mask first each morning. And so we encourage you to check that out. She also has a website, gratefulparent.com, that has some great resources right now for parents, especially those who are now homeschooling by fire, I guess we would call that. And so check that out. Also, our mini team members, I already introduced here, Tyler and Ember. I was sharing with them last night that we created Fambundance for them, really. And it's everybody else that gets to benefit, because we've opened it up to the world right now. And literally, it's normally for our GoBundance and our Fambundance members, which is a learning community or mastermind group for successful entrepreneurs. But we've decided to give away what we know about supporting and families and helping them collaborate. And one of the things that not only Brother James and Matt and Braden and I have been trained on is a method called exchange that was developed by my buddy, our buddy, John Berghoff. And it's an amazing methodology or operating system that he teaches to community leaders across the world that helps them to bring out the best in teams. And that's what we're going to do with you here today, because I believe that our number one team is our family. And why wouldn't we take the best of what works to build teams and apply it to our families? So that's what we're doing here. We have the honor of working with Matt Duncan as well. He's on the call here. He's worked with children and kids and teens for over 18 years. He has many advanced degrees that qualify him, quite frankly, much more than me to work with children. And he writes our programs, creates our flyers, and he works with our Junior Dream Leader group. And I also want to introduce Braden, who's here with us. And Braden has worked with kids as well for over 10 years. He works in an organization called Fire Scouts that my son and daughter are a part of, where he helps kids to access nature so that it can bring out the best in us, and we can learn about the beautiful Mother Earth and how we can use it in our lives to create fulfillment and connection and meaning. These guys are amazing. We are all here on the call just to show you that Fambundance is very serious right now about providing tools to families. And it's not just me kind of thinking this stuff up as an entrepreneur. We've brought in experts that understand developmental psychology. That's one of the advanced degrees that Matt has, as well as experiential learning, not only through Matt's training, but through the exchange training. So we have an incredible team. We're all going to be here to help you through the various exercises that we're going to do today. I also want to mention that I am also the regional owner for the Greater Pennsylvania region for Keller Williams. Some of you may be joining via a Keller Williams connection. I know I see Usha here, and I see her family seems to be here as well. So that's great. And Matt, it's Asha I think, and Mara Patel, is that right? When we break the families out, Matt, you might break the 3 of them into their own Zoom breakout rooms so they can be connecting as a family still. The rest of you, when we are set up a portion of our dream session or our family meeting, which is a weekly rhythm that we get into in our family, and I'll pause for a moment and just say that traditions and rituals are really what help families, communities, companies, teams, and organizations to thrive. They bring out consistency, they help us to create meaningful conversations, and they help us to do that even when we don't feel like doing it. Do you follow me on that? Because if we only did the things we felt like doing all the time, life would get very hard. If we do the things that are hard or difficult that maybe we don't want to do and we do them more often, we'll find that life gets much easier. So, hey, I want to just point out that this call is designed for you to be here with your family. And so if you have your family with you, that's great. We're going to be in a moment breaking you into a discussion with your family. And what we're going to ask you do is simply mute yourself when we do that. And we're going to put a timer up on the screen, and that'll give you a chance to go through whatever questions we're giving you to go through. You'll just have to keep a close eye on the timer and make sure that you come back to us once that timer is up. And you'll have to do that even if you're not done with your discussion. And you might just have to come back to some of these discussions later on. These might be the beginning of you setting the habit and getting in the rhythm. And you might need to come back to these again and again. So again, we call our weekly meeting the Family Dream Session. And we recommend that you all label it whatever you want it to be. So your weekly meeting should be whatever you want it to be called. Probably you don't want to have the word meeting in it because nobody likes to go to meetings, right? So come up with something clever and more fun that becomes something that you're connecting with every single week. I wanted to just share a quick story about the power of our family meetings because we've been doing these for a couple of years now. And there was an instance or an example that I will share with you where, and it's a little bit sad, so I apologize if this brings you down at all, but we had our dog pass away, Stella, who some of you met. I know Usha met Stella at one point. Stella passed away. She lived a great, really long life. And we were coming back from her having just been put down, and it was a very abrupt emergency kind of. She was there in the morning and gone that night. And it was the day we were supposed to do our family dream session. And I, for one, thought, well, this is our for sure excuse to not do our family meeting because this was so bad and it was really hard for us. And thanks to Lindsay, who is wise beyond her years and always connected to a higher wisdom than I am, said, isn't this when we need it most? And I thought to myself, wow, that is really smart. And she was right, because we did our family meeting, and instead of wallowing in what had happened, we went and we discovered the best of our moments with Stella, and we explored what we love about her and how we would celebrate her in the future. And so we turned what was a crappy situation into a positive and meaningful connecting experience for our family. And I just want to thank you guys, and you especially, Lindsay, for being strong on that, because sometimes I have the idea, and a lot of times Lindsay has the follow through on that. So thank you for being our follow through on that. And I share this story with you because if there was ever a time when we needed to be collaborating at a high level as a family, this is the time to do it. Not only is it the time to do it because of what we're going through, it's also the time to do it because we have the time to do it. Do you get me? Like, we got the time right now to be working on these things and coming together as a family. In fact, I like to believe that that the universe or God or nature, whatever you're calling it, has set this into motion so that we would slow down and focus on what's most important and figure out how to be most efficient. And so this is a tremendous opportunity for us. And I thank you all for joining us. This is the first time we've ever tried to do this. We're going to get through as much of it as we can, but we're also going to give you some space and time to connect with your own family and maybe even put you in a breakout room to meet another family. And by the way, it's not going to all go perfectly. I'm just going to put that out there right now. When we got multiple families and everything going on, we're just going to roll with it and do our best. So we're here to serve you. We're here to show up. And I'll just pause right there. Before I jump into the opening question that we're going to have you reflect on, you might want to grab a piece of paper and a pen and have it handy, because we're going to ask you to really draw or journal the answers to your question before you begin to share them with your family. And this is part of us taking what is normally a passive situation. A lot of times meetings are run by one person delivering all of the information to the family. We want this to be not passive, but active. This is an active experiential learning process. And so within that, you're not just going to all answer a question either. You're going to get a chance to draw or write your answer. And then when you're ready to share, everybody will go around in your family and share their answer to that question. And as they're doing that, we encourage you to take a couple of notes, jot down what they're saying and what's resonating with you. And when you're complete with the step, you can then share what you appreciate about what everybody just shared within your family. So take a moment to journal and draw your answer, then share and capture notes, and then appreciate and acknowledge what you all have just experienced and heard as a family. So that's sort of the 3-step process. Please mute yourself when you're breaking out with your family so that you are not bringing the noise back into this Zoom room. If you have questions or you're not here with your family or prepared to break out with your family in the same room as you, that's all good. You can stay in the room and you can ask Matt, Duncan, and Brother James and Braden some questions about Fambundance or how we can serve you right now and your families. So they'll be available. Also, the 3 of them are willing to break out into a breakout room with your family. If you need a little extra help for your family and you want to take it offline or into a breakout room, we have the capabilities of doing that on Zoom. So I'm going to be doing these same exercises along with you with my family. And so keep a close eye on the timer. Like I said, Matt Duncan is going to put a timer up on the screen. And I think that's about it. Jared, did I miss anything before we put up, we start with the purpose question?
No, unless anyone has any questions.
And you can also use the chat box if you want. By the way, if you're in a breakout room at any time, the chat boxes don't sync up. So just keep that in mind.
Yep. And if you're in a chat room, you can just ask for help. Matt Duncan, chime in, buddy.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions or they would like to work in a breakout room with one of the facilitators, please just send me a chat message and I will break you out into a breakout room with one of the facilitators. And as soon as you guys wrap up your conversation, you'll be able to come back in on your own whenever you're ready.
Awesome. So here's what we're going to do is I'm going to set up the first question for you and your family. If you have pen in hand, that's great. It'd be a great opportunity to begin drawing or thinking about your answers. And here's the question is, why is your family important to you? And we could even expand on that and say, why is having really great collaboration and working really well together as a team so important to you and your family right now? And I want to just give you a little understanding about why we asked this question. This is a great question to begin any interaction with, because in this moment, we're deciding why it's important for us to show up to this actual setting and this discussion that we're about to have. So take a moment right now and come up with an answer or two. And I invite you to think about multiple levels. Not only why is your family important to you, why is your family important in your community? Why is your family important to the world, or why are families in general really important for the world right now? So we can think of this question of why is family important to us at multiple levels. And so I encourage you to really explore those answers. And kiddos, you know, think about why you love your family. What do they do for you? How do they support you? What is it that your family does that is meaningful, important, or just really fun for you to experience? So, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna all mute ourselves. Matt, I will ask you to put up a timer for 5 minutes. I'm gonna mute myself as well, and then my family and I are gonna go through the same question. By the way, when you come back from this, we are gonna put you in a breakout room with one other family. It's gonna be totally random. And so you're gonna meet another family and you're gonna introduce yourselves and share your answers. So as you go through this right now, make sure you jot down a couple of your best answers for why family is important to you, because you're gonna share them with another family here in just a moment. So, all right, Matt, let's go, buddy. 5 minutes on the clock, and let's share these answers within your family.
13, 14, 13, 12.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2,
2, 1.
0.
All right. So Matt, I saw your private message there. If you could just put the Patels, the three of them, in with one other family in this next part. So now, guys, we're going to put you in a breakout room with one other family. Introduce yourselves to the other family. You'll have 5 minutes for this as well. And make sure you're brief, but share some of the answers that your family came up with on why family is important, why collaborating with family is so important right now. When Matt initiates the breakout rooms, which you can go ahead and do now, Matt, something will pop up that you have to click on that will then take you into that breakout room. So be watching for that and enjoy your conversation with another family. This is cool to kind of get, it's like bringing another family right into your own living room there. So that'll be fun. And at a safe, very safe distance, I must say.
I will also be sending messages with time updates so that you guys will be able to know and keep yourselves on time, on track with time.
Cool. And if you're able to be on video, please be on video. All right, here we go. Join the breakout.
Go ahead,
Room
Nolan.
5. We'll see you soon.
Do you guys want to go put into rooms?
I think, are we letting them kind of do their thing and staying available for anybody who wants help specifically?
We don't have a way for them to report to us because you can't chat with somebody outside your room.
Mhm.
But let's see. Well, here's what we could do. I'm gonna put Mike's already in a room, so I could put like one of you guys in one room, one of you guys in another room, and then I could pop into a third room.
Why do we need to be in a room?
We don't necessarily.
Yeah, let's not go into a room.
Yeah, and I don't want to, like, I kind of want to let them do their thing. And if people come back and they're like, we were confused, next time we can jump in rooms. But it's almost like the thermometer changes the temperature of the water sort of thing.
Totally. Did he say how long he wanted this breakout? I missed it.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Guys, it's so nice out here.
Nice, man.
Like, the weather is beautiful. This campground is awesome. There's a ton of hiking trails. It's literally empty. There's maybe 10 people in this whole place. And like the bathrooms are really nice. Oh, thank you. The weather's beautiful. After this call, we're gonna go do some hiking around. This is a great spot.
Nice.
You guys look bored.
Hey, welcome in. Yeah, did y'all just get in with us, or did you leave your breakout room?
We jumped out. I don't know if they hung up or what the case was. We couldn't get them to unmute, so I'm not sure. They might have just been on their phone.
Okay. Oh, you might have got paired with somebody who's just listening in.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, that's good for us to know. That's good for us to know. So how'd it go for y'all? I mean, I guess we would debrief.
Yeah.
You'll have some time to work on this if you want to take that time.
Yeah, we kind of went over some stuff and just, why family is important to me, and most of it we agree with, obviously. We come from totally different backgrounds, and but we really agree that, family is, it teaches you love, morals, compassion, those kind of things. You're around your family mostly at the beginning of your life, so kind of pick those things up. You're really just taught life. When you get into the outside world, it's how strong is that to you that kind of gets, to the wayside sometimes. So, and then we talked about being on the other side as a parent, that, we try to be better for every generation ahead of us, or, following behind us.
Yeah.
So just looking at that kind of mentality. And there's just different levels of family, right? So we have biological, you have your work family, you have your fur baby family, your Engobundance is a family, so all kinds of different things can mean family. So yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Oh, Brother
Did
James,
I put you in a room with somebody that disappeared?
Yeah, real quick though, Brother James, before I forget, I do need to get either your contact info or your number. I've got somebody I really need you to meet.
Okay.
It'd be very helpful for each other, I think, from the David Green group. And he works in, he's a musician, but he also does a lot of nonprofit stuff as well. And just think that y'all would really hit it off. That's something you're interested in.
Yeah, I just chatted you.
Perfect.
Yo. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna make the screen bigger because every time the chat box comes up, it shrinks my screen. All right, there we go. Oh, I want to be in gallery view too. Hey, I did forget to mention that we did send out this sheet. Hopefully you guys all got it. Every register attendee did. If you didn't get it, you can email info@fanbundance.com. I think you can also get it at fanbundance.com/FDS-design. Is that right, Matt? Did I get it right? Maybe you could throw that up in the chat box just in case they don't have it, because you might want to reference it as we move through some of these other questions. So.
Yeah, it's FDS-guide.
Okay, got it. All right, that makes
I'll put it in
sense.
the chat.
Cool. All right, everybody, we'd love to hear just a couple of answers that you either shared yourself, or you could do some teaching through acknowledging another family and what they shared with you. Maybe share what's the greatest gift in what you heard another family say, or even one of your own family members. Let's get a couple of shares on why is family important to us, especially now. And you might be muted too, so.
Who'd like to go first?
So Chris shared.
Go ahead.
So Chris shared that he's like kind of a leader in his family network, and he just wants to set that example of what a great family should look like. And I think probably many of us feel that way, that we kind of set the standard in our bigger extended families. And so he said he wanted to be a great family, just set a great example.
Cool, that's great. Lindsay said something similar to that as well. That's great. Good answers. Okay, looks like the Elrods have their hands raised, so you can't.
So I'm I'm going to read what my 7-year-old son Halston wrote down. He got very specific. He said, "My family is important to me. Why? Because my mom cooks for me." I second that. "My dad makes us have a roof over my head. My dog Peanut is soft. And Sophie, my sister, is playful. And Auntia is a good nanny. And Howie, because it's myself." So he covered the whole family, ending with himself. And yeah, and we're grateful for this opportunity, Mike and Lindsay and everybody leading and participating. This was really cool just to have the breakout, and we met the Patel family and hearing what's important to them and sharing in the values of, I think just this time is making us all realize, like you said, Mike, how important family is. And when we can't go spend time with anybody other than our family, you realize, wow, these people, I'm so blessed to share my life with them. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Howie, great job, buddy. I love your answers. And you don't even know how smart you are, because you almost answered in a way that'll set you up for question number 3 too, buddy. So you're knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone there almost. I love your style.
Sophie wants to share too, if she can.
I think my family is important to me because they support me in my beliefs, like what I want to be when I grow up, the decisions I make, all of that.
Love it. They believe in you, and they show belief in you. I love that, Sophie. That's great. What an awesome answer. Let's get a couple more.
Hey, and before we move on, something I've been doing on the dozens of Zoom chats that I've been on the last 4 days is let's do a 2 snap-on 2 for the Elrod family. A 2 snap-on 2. Ready? 1, 2. And we don't clap because if there's a dog nearby that's skittish, the dog might get scared or the cat might run away. So that's why we snap.
Nice.
Learn the hard way.
Cool. Let's hear from another family or two. We'd love to know what you learned in your breakout.
I learned a lot from Niels and his family on how they strive to be examples and leaders in their community. And I think that's a really great goal to have. And I think that's kind of what this is about as well. So I think that's super great.
And their kids have really awesome names.
It's so good to see you guys. Really love you guys. And it's so nice to see you all here with us. Great answers too.
3 snap-on 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right. I told you it wouldn't all be perfect. I didn't know it was the snapping that would be off, though. We'd love another answer or two from a couple other families here.
I think Sergio. Yep, Sergio, go ahead, man.
So great answer that we got from Mike. So we were thinking about it personally, our immediate family, and Mike reminded us that it's, that something that he's thankful for is building a legacy of, establishing that foundation and having, with his kids and then grandkids and whatnot. I thought that was phenomenal.
Thank you for sharing that. And I loved what you guys said too. And especially because Corinne, she answered it on multiple levels, kind of like I instructed. I think you're probably a good instruction follower, Corinne, but that's really awesome. And she just talked about sharing the deeper meaning together as a family and how we get to do that, and then how we serve our communities when we're a strong family. So she took it to the level of community. And then she shared Sergio's answer on how really, and I agree with this sentiment, so I'll put it in some of my own words, but I believe the human family unit is what will heal the planet ultimately, the focus on just that one system. And so we're really talking about big things here, but they start really small at home. And I think that's such a powerful thing to connect with and to know that we have that power in the world. So awesome, you guys. I'm going to keep moving. I know we could probably get a few more brilliant answers. If you wanted to share one that you didn't get to, you could also type it in the chat box, because folks can see it there and connect with it too. So feel free to put them up there. We're going to move to the second question now on the Family Dream Session. And this one is all about high point moments. And there's a couple of options I'm going to give you on how to approach this. And one is more about just in general, and one is more about given what we're going through, and the challenges that we're facing. You know, what can we appreciate about what we're going through right now? And I think this is important to just note that the method that we pointed out called exchange, it's rooted in something that's been developed over 30 years. It's taught in business schools and in graduate schools across the country and in the world. And it's called appreciative inquiry. And what it is it's the study of the best of what was, is, or could be in the future. And that's a very different way of looking at things, because we all know that it could be very easy to focus on what's wrong, what's broken, and what needs fixing. And oftentimes that puts us into a never-ending downward spiral of what's wrong and what's broken and what's missing. And so rather than trying to go down in the spiral, energetically and vibrationally, we want to go up. And so the way we do that is we ask generative or appreciative questions. And so this next question is about exploring the best of the recent past. So finding moments, examples, stories of when you've seen yourself, your family, your community, or even the world at their best. And I would say at least have one answer that's related to your family, of when have you seen your family at their best, either one individual member of your family, or maybe it's your family collectively, the way you showed up for a specific challenge or something you were doing. So go ahead and draw or journal your answers. I'm going to talk for another 30 seconds, and then we're going to break you into your families, where you'll just talk with your family about what your recent high points are. And what you're going to do is just keep going around and sharing as many high point moments as you can until the 5 minutes is run out. And that should give you ample time. The other thing is, think about a time that you or your family overcame an obstacle or challenge, and we're talking maybe recently, and that you had, where you had no playbook, no rules, or anything to guide you through that. And what did you come away with through that experience? And what strengths did you display in that moment? So you don't have to write all of this down. You don't have to get it verbatim. The questions are very simple, and I'll boil it down to just one statement, which is, when have you or your family been at your best in the last couple of weeks since the coronavirus pandemic begun? So let's go ahead and mute ourselves. Matt, why don't you put a timer up? Let's make it 6 minutes. We'll give a little extra time on this one, and have fun connecting amongst your families on your high point moments.
You gonna mute us then? Thank you.
Just as a gentle time check, everybody has about 1 minute left to finish their conversations.
You don't?
Hey guys. All right. How are your conversations?
Good. Thumbs up.
So I would love to just hear a couple of high point moments. Like what have been the high point moments for your family the last couple of weeks?
Howie?
The outdoor family movie nights.
Yep, that was on ours too. Sophie, go ahead.
I actually have a couple. I have well, these are mainly all my families, but my grandpa got us a badminton set, so we play that like every day. When we read at night together, and when we play board games, kickball, we play we do a ton of stuff together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. We just got our badminton set in the mail thanks to your recommendation. So maybe we'll have to play you guys with 6 feet of a buffer. Cool. Ty, you want to share?
We were just calling up Bella for a great attitude the whole time. She hasn't been fussy. She's missed her friends, but she's just been very self-contained. Luke's been sick, so she's done a great job of getting up on time for virtual school and putting herself to bed with a little less attention than normal just because we've had to deal with Luke. So she's just had a great attitude. If you want to get locked in a house with someone for a month, Bella is your first choice. Great attitude girl.
Way to go.
Awesome.
Back to mute.
You'd be my second choice, David. Okay, Ty, go ahead.
I really like catching lizards with my sister.
Tyler's and Ember have been catching lizards, and they've actually been sticking around in our open enclosure, and now they're our pets, I guess. So
Our outdoor pets.
our outdoor pets. So that's fun. Go ahead, Neil's Davenport, Shreveport family. Sorry.
Sonny's gonna share.
Okay. Technically, me and my brothers and my sister, we've been cleaning around the house. We also made a cake yesterday. Strawberry. Yeah, and we made strawberry filling.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. It was literally strawberries with strawberry jam.
It was great. And then Sky helped me put some flooring in the garage so we could make a extra little den space for them. It was great.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's Sky, and what's your other one's little name?
This is Sky and Sunny, and then we have Rain and River in the other room.
Oh man, those are cool names.
Thanks.
It's kind of like Mike.
And then we have Lambo under us.
When they're all together, it's kind of like a storm.
I bet it is. I bet it is. Cool. We have time for maybe 1 or 2 more. If you want to share a high point moment from your family. How about you, Stella? I see you talking.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What are you thankful for? What did we do fun this last week? Go ahead. You being shy now?
Stella's 3, so please forgive us.
Brave, Stella, you're so brave.
Stella,
So, our we were thinking more less on the fun side and more on the high points in terms of accomplishments. And, you know, two things that I talked about was, one is being I've been thinking a lot of how supportive Corinne has been and just supporting me. I mean, she was the one who pushed me to join GoBundance, and over the last couple of weeks, the everything that's been going on, you know, coronavirus and whatnot, GoBundance has been huge in terms of support, in terms of helping us think outside the box and planning all of the elder sessions. So we were just really, you know, really happy that we're trying to lead by example, and, you know, with family, friends, community, in terms of not panicking, how to best be prepared, going on nature walks and brainstorming about, you know, how are we financially, how are we food wise, and it's just really been a reflection of how well we're working as a family dynamic, and so we're very grateful for that.
Well said. Well said. Should we do some snapping? Mine doesn't have any counting, Brother James. We just snap. And Corinne, thank you for encouraging Sergio to join GoBundance. It's been a pleasure to have him part of the group, and I've seen him engage and play at a high level. So it's exceptional that you were able to push him in that direction. I love it.
Very lovingly. Took a little bit of time, but I finally got through to him.
That's good. Love it. All right. Does anybody else want to close this out? One last one, maybe? All right. Well, oh, here we go. Go ahead, Douglas.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, so my wife is actually putting my 21-month-old to bed right now, so it's just me right now. But we had our daughter, Aaliyah, about 2 months ago, and so that whole process has definitely been a high point. And just sitting back and watching my wife just be an excellent mother has been a lot of fun for me. So my father-in-law is facility director and in charge of safety at the local hospital here. So naturally, the coronavirus has like consumed him, and just, I mean, that's his life right now. And so my 21-month-old Winston, he's just a ball of energy and a lot of fun, and, you know, just a light. And he's really brought up the mood whenever he's around. So the high point for him is he's just keeping everybody in good spirits during all this.
No one told him about the coronavirus, huh?
No, the social distancing is a little tough for him, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks for closing us out, Douglas. I know you have recently joined GoBundance as well. We're glad to have you here with us. Thanks for joining the call and trusting us with your family as well. It's quite an honor for us to be able to do that. All right, well, we've got about 25 minutes left, so we have time to really get through maybe one more section of this, which would be the shared gratitude. And then what I'm going to do is, for the remainder of the time we have, I'm just going to briefly go over the other pieces of what we do. And it would have been difficult for us to do those all together anyways, because some of the next steps that we're going to go through, they may reveal to you that you need to have a specific family meeting just on that step. So an example of that would be for your family values. We have a workbook and a guide that takes you through how to co-create as a family your family values. And so you might want to go through that. Once you've gone through that, as part of the meeting, there are some exercises about who lived the values and how can we celebrate the values that we've been living as a family, and actually taking a piece of your values and saying, what does this actually mean to us? How do we show up in this way? So that way we can take what is a bunch of words and make them the reality of how we live, instead of just a bunch of clever phrases and ways to say things. The other thing that you might want to do later on is going to be your goals. So we really recommend that as a family, you have family goals. We also have a worksheet for that helps you to take your family through a process to set up family goals that are based on the 6 GoBundance pillars. And so that's a way that you could set family goals. The other thing is individual goals. And we recommend that each family member always has 1 to 3 big goals, longer term goals that they're working on. And that each week you're setting up yourself to focus on those big goals, as well as setting any smaller weekly goals that you may have upcoming. What you then do is pair that up with your schedule. And then now we understand, what are our big goals? What are our short-term goals? What does our schedule look like for the upcoming week? So we're not going to be able to get you into groups to go through your values or go through your goals right now, but we did give you the guide, and we did give you and have the other worksheets for you so that you can create your pillar family goals, you can create your shared values as a family, and then that can be a component of your family meeting on an ongoing basis. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go into some shared gratitude. And this is going to be very quick and easy. What I want you to do is get your pen back out so that you've got it. Howie, do you have a question? Okay. Well, hi Air 5 then. So this is our chance to appreciate each family member. And the way that we generally do it, if you know your family values, you can choose to just call out a family member for something they've done specifically. But if you can also tie it to one of your family values, then you're not only appreciating them, but you're lifting up the fact that they are living your family values. You don't need to do that today. Let's keep it simple. You can if you choose to, obviously. But what we want you to do right now is we want you to go from family member to family member. And so, for instance, like if we were to start with Tyler, here, sit up so they can see you. What we would do is we would all take about 15 seconds to write or draw what we're grateful for Tyler about. And then one at a time, we would go around and share why we're grateful for Tyler. Now, Tyler is going to share why he's grateful for himself. And Howie, you kind of already did this on your first go around for High Point Moments. You did a portion of this. So this is where I was saying you're one step ahead of us. After we've all told Tyler why we're grateful for him, and he's said why he's grateful for himself, then we move to another family member. This is really fast. We try to go through it pretty quickly. And in the interest of time, we're also going to move you through it fairly quickly. So you'll have about 5 minutes to just single in on a single family member and then shower them with the gratitude that you have for them. So we'll give you 5 minutes to do that. Before I send you off, is there any questions on how to do this? You can also reference your worksheet if you need to, but family member by family
just
member,
one family member that we do it with?
one at a time. So you do them all, but one at a time.
Okay.
So you would start maybe with you, Martin, and then they would all say how awesome you are. And then we would move to Noble. And then we'd probably have so much to say that we wouldn't have enough time to say why we love Sean. So that was another way of me saying, watch your time, because you only got 5 minutes. So, and so maybe start with Sean, because we don't want him to not have the opportunity. So. All right, guys, so take 5 minutes right now and share some gratitude for your family.
just a gentle reminder, you have about a minute left.
All right. Awesome. Well, you may not have had time to get through everybody. I apologize for that, but I want to keep us on track and on time here. And also, it's just about getting the process down of how you can do this. It's about how you come back to this week after week that's really going to make a big difference. And by the way, it's worth stating that you might not only come up with your own name for what this meeting is for your family weekly, but you might also consider doing your own format for it. I'm not suggesting that our format is the best. It is one we've used and we've changed over and over again to get to what it is today. But you may find there's a different order or other things that you want to bring into your own family meetings. So please don't think of this as the Bible or the manual on how to do it. This is just our way of doing it, and we're just sharing it with all of you. So I'd love to hear from just one or two of you. What was it like to appreciate each other as a family? What came of it? What came out of it? How did it make you feel? Okay, who wants to go second?
I just love how creative Luke was, because every time we asked him to say something about the person who was on the hot seat, he would say something about somebody else. So he refused to be bound by any limitations or rules of the game. And sometimes he just said, no, I'm not saying anything anymore. But what was neat was feeling the energy in our family shift as we went through the exercise and kind of slow down and get into gratitude for one another. It was really cool. And at the very end, Luke and Bella were holding hands and just talking about how much they loved each other, which was kind of neat.
Oh, that's really cool. Thanks, David.
I just really love the watching the kids process the emotions, and you can see them viscerally like experiencing it, especially then when they come to themselves and they really, after getting that roadmap, I guess, from the people around them of what is so great about them, and then having them kind of sit in that for a second. So I really enjoyed seeing that experience in them and myself.
Yeah, I love that. Niels, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's really important. Sometimes in our family, we get caught in a stage of calling each other out instead of calling each other up. And I think we have to really work the appreciation muscle for those that we live in close proximity with, especially now, because it's really important we see the best in them, that we believe in them, and that we, as often as we can, we call out and appreciate the best of what we see in them, because people will live into the conversations that we have with and about them. So it's super important that we do that. Anyone else want to share about the experience of your family gratitude? Okay.
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
Stella and mommy went potty, so we're trying to potty train now. So that's Stella's gratitude, is that's what she wanted to do. So for us, I think, aside from the specifics of what we talked about, the one thing that the exercise made obvious is that we need to do more of talking about and pointing out our wins, because we're very much a, kind of strategic and planning and looking at, okay, what are we going to do tomorrow, whether it's fun, whether it's business or whatever. And so just the exercise of being able to say, hey, we did this, or I did this, just felt good. I mean, it's kind of like taking a win, and we felt that, it's good that, we are doing things, we are achieving things. So it's good to kind of reflect on that. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Well said. And thank you for bringing that back to the group. That's powerful.
Hey, Mike, you mind if I chime in for just a second?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, you wrote a song about gratitude, literally.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, well, you set it up. One of the things that Mike set up with this exercise is that we're using a process that is referred to as appreciative inquiry, which is simply a philosophy, the search for the best of what was, what is, and what could be. And the reason we go back or we search for moments of gratitude is that if we search for those moments, then it gives us an ability to study those moments so that we know how to create them in the future. And so it's more than just feeling it in this moment. It's actually evidence that gives us the ingredients to recreate, to now create the best of what can be. So as you're doing your planning, being able to look back on what has worked in the past, the best of what has worked, investigating a little bit allows for a more strategic approach to recreating that in the future versus just leaving it up to chance.
Yep. Thanks, buddy. Well said. I appreciate that. And maybe we'll close out with Grateful as a song here. What I want to do though is I want to put you in a group with your family for another. We'll make it a 4-minute round. And all I want you to do is forget about having a system for your values. Maybe you already have your values. If so, what I want you to talk about for the next 2 to 3 minutes as a family is what values are more important now than ever of your current values, or maybe there's a new one you want to add to your values, or if you haven't established your family values, just come up with 2 to 3 words or 4 to 5 words that are values, things that you believe matter most for your family, how you show up for each other, how you treat one another, who you are for each other. Think about what it means to be a McCarthy or a Harrison or an Elrod or an Osborne or a Patel or an Iden. Think about what is the definition. What does it mean to be a McCarthy? And you could dive into this more later, but for right now, we just want you to think about, because we're in such extraordinary times, what are some values that you really want to bring to the forefront of your minds, of your consciousness, and to fill your house with? So we'll give you about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll bring you back and I'll recap a few things, and we'll close out with the Brother James Gratitude Grateful song. So let's put them on for 4 minutes, Matt. Enjoy. All right, welcome back, everybody. So real quick, if you came up with a value or you already had established a value that you think is important to be living by, even now more so than ever, we'd love to hear just a couple share. I'll share one of ours, maybe I'll work in a few, but one of ours is to be peaceful collaborators, which is that we live in integrity through accountability and work together as a team to support each other in achieving our goals. And I think right now we have to collaborate not only as a family, but with the outside world too. So that's one that we brought up of our values that's even more important now. So who else has one they'd love to share? Go ahead, Elrods.
Sophie?
One of ours was being your best while bringing out the best in others.
Good one, Sophie. Good job, Elrods. Couple more.
So our family, we talked about how that we like helping others and being very charitable, and that's something that we like to do as a family.
Love it. Serving others. That's great. Awesome. One more.
Well, we've lost the kids because Luke took Bella into the playroom, which is kind of neat because it's fun to watch them play. But Bella said that everyone in our family has a voice, which is good. That's one of our family values, that everyone gets to speak their mind.
Ooh, that's a good one. Love that. Thank you, Osborne. All right, so it looks like we're probably going to keep you over about 5 minutes or so. Is everybody okay with me just summarizing in about 2 to 3 minutes how we would do the rest of the meeting, and then we'll play Grateful, and then we'll close out. And Brother James, I'm mainly making sure you're good on the time because it's hard to play Grateful without you.
I'm good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So here's the thing: is we have established 6 family values. We use the same process to establish these that we've outlined in our workbooks and our worksheets for you. What I would say though is what we do is we will read together our family values once a week, and then we will pick a phrase or a part of the value description, and we will ask each other, what does that really mean and how do we show up in that way? So that's a very useful way to make sure you're not only living your values, but that you're also sharing and appreciating with each other when you witness them living the values. And that can really cement them and create more opportunities. I could tell you countless stories of when our kids stated that they were going to make it through something because of their ability to become one of our values. Like a resilient warrior, for one is one of our values. And we've used that a lot as a family to get through anything challenging that we're going through. So once we've gone through the family values, what you want to do then is talk about your individual goals. So you might want to take some time this upcoming week. If you haven't set goals or your kids haven't set goals, is find a couple of things that they can focus on, whether it's a long-term goal, meaning between now and the end of the year, or maybe a 1-year goal, or it could be something that is a goal just for right now during this coronavirus situation. So think about your individual goals. And then also what we do then is we set our upcoming week goals. So here's our big goals. And for next week, what are all the goals that we want to accomplish? And that is usually a longer list of things that we want to get done for the upcoming week. After we've done that, we go through the schedule and we look at everybody's schedule for the week. And if you can put it up somewhere where everyone can see it, or at least go over the major points on it, that really helps everybody schedule-wise to get on the same page. The other thing we then go over is our family goals, which again, we have a worksheet for you to come up with your family goals. You can do them based on pillar, or you can do them on your own categories if you've got some additional categories. And then the final thing is that we usually take a section of our meeting towards the end and we talk about what are some of the upcoming family adventures that we're going to go on? And oftentimes those are bucket list trips or things that we're doing. And right now, maybe they're smaller things like a hike next weekend or a family movie night in a cul-de-sac or something smaller like that. But it's important to build some anticipation for whatever's coming within your family so you have something to look forward to. And it's not only good for the anticipation, but it helps the kids get involved in planning some of these adventures. I'm often asked, well, what if my kids don't want to participate in these meetings? And my answer is always the same. That's great. Just tell them that you will plan all of the adventures without them during the meeting. That usually gets a pretty rapid response of their engagement back into the meeting. And you could take it as far as saying you'll also set their goals for them if they don't want to. So it becomes a collaboration, and it's a place where the family is all heard. I loved that David Osborne brought in that the Osborne family value is that everybody gets to be heard. One of the things we're working with within this group is making sure that the family is all heard, and that as parents, we need to be aware that if we come up with all the answers and all the rules ourselves, and then we go and try to enforce them upon our children, you will get a less than ideal result compared to if you were willing to include them in the creation of the rules, include them in the creation of the values, the goals, or whatever it may be. And obviously, the older the kids get, the larger and greater their capacity becomes to participate in these things. So that's really it. We generally end our meeting with everybody put their hands in, and 1, 2, 3, McCarthy's. And then we'll do a family hug, and that's the end of our meeting. There is a space towards the end to discuss anything else that's relevant for your family, like your chores list, your allowance, your finances for the kids, the money they've spent, do they have give, save, spend jars? And then how are they doing in school, or what other important topics might there be to discuss during the meeting? So that's our meeting in a nutshell. I'll open it up for a couple of quick questions or any comments, and then we'll close out with the beautiful song, Grateful by Brother James.
I just want to say thank you, Mike, for putting this all on and for leading it. And then I want to say how great it was to see Martin, Sean, and Noble wherever they are in the world, and I'm glad they're keeping safe. And everyone else as well. I just haven't seen Sean and Noble with Martin in a long time. Great to see them.
Awesome. Thanks, David. Thanks for being
Thanks,
here.
David.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
It's good to be seen.
Where are you? You look like you're in a cabin.
We are. We're upstate. We're at our place upstate. So I just wanted to second Mike. Thanks so much for organizing. It was awesome. And Brother James, thank you as well. I know you've been working with the NGLs this week, and Noble's been really grateful for that as well.
Yeah, Jared and Matt, can you guys tell them what we have in this upcoming week for calls for NGLs and for JDLs? NGLs are next gen leaders. Those are our teenagers, and JDLs are junior dream leaders. They're 11 and under. So real quick, just so people know that these are resources and calls where Matt and Braden are leading the JDLs through calls of how to deal with what we're going through and how to get the best out of this time. And Jeremy's doing the same along with his partner, Jared Nickerson. They run the NGL community, and they're bringing a lot of value. So where can they find you guys this upcoming week?
For the NGLs, the last 2 weeks we've been doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And we've done everything from what are the lessons that you're learning from this that you can bring forward in the days to come, in the weeks to come. What are you grateful for? Healthy habits. How you might see this this current environment and this current situation from a financial perspective. Where are the opportunities? How do you learn about savings for, all sorts of conversations around our pillars, which are healthy habits, financial literacy, healthy relationships, generous or genuine contribution. So each call has kind of a topic. On this Monday, 1 p.m. is going to be a super special call with the NGLs. We're having a good friend of mine named Jesse Harless, who wrote a book called Shatter Your Comfort Zone with Cold Showers. We got into like a cold shower conversation on the last call with all the NGLs, and they were like, we would never take cold showers. Well, that's why we got Jesse Harless coming on Monday. So Monday, 1 p.m. NGL call. And that's fanbundance.com/NGL-Zoom. It'll be on our Facebook membership and on the Facebook page for just the FanBundance open page. And then Wednesday will be a co-creation with the NGLs. And then next Friday, depending on what new things happen, we're kind of determining what will be the topic each call. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, NGLs. And we've had between 8 and 18 teenage kids on each and every one of those. Jeff, thanks for being a special guest on one of those.
We want to keep growing those. We want to grow our impact and service in the world right now. I think the world needs us. So, and Matt, how about for the JDL?
Let me just finish with one thing there. This is the number one thing right now with these NGLs, is that their friends don't have the capacity to see any sort of gifts, any sort of gratitude, any sort of lessons. So if they're not in a community like FanBundance, what's happening is they're getting swallowed up by the narrative that lives on social media and that lives in their text threads, which naturally, like most communities, is negative, is fear-based, is uncertain. And so the number one feedback that we get from the NGLs on these calls is it's just great to connect and have a positive conversation. And Noble, you've been on the last 3 calls. Noble, what would you say you appreciate most about connecting with the NGLs over the last week?
Well, like I liked talking about like what's been going on recently, like with coronavirus and what you should do, like activities with your family you should try to do, and how talking about what's safe to do for teenagers and what's not safe to do.
Yeah, and how about our social media conversation about not getting trapped in the web?
Not getting like addicted to like social media in the morning. Like it's like your phone is addicting, like if you use it in the morning when you wake up or when you
Yeah, we're giving them skills to get through this thing right now. And as teenagers, they have access to technology.
Noble.
Yeah, let's give Noble some snaps.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we're opening it up to everybody. So if you know a teenager, they're not part of FanBundance, they're not part of GoBundance, it doesn't matter. If it's your neighbor, just get in touch with myself or Mike, and they're welcome to get on the call. This is more about just giving as much value as we can and the tools that are needed right now to move through this current situation.
All right, Matt, now you have to be real brief, buddy.
Oh, I could do that. So right now, Braden and I are doing 2 calls a week for the JDLs. They're a little bit less structured than what Brother James is doing with the NGLs. Our calls are a little bit more about time for the kids to be social and just connect with each other. And we've got a set of questions that bring them into what's going really great. What kinds of activities they can do and share with each other, how they can support each other virtually. And we also have a great activity that we're doing right now called Coronavirus Bingo, which can be found on our FanBundance Coronavirus page. And if a kid completes all of the activities on that chart, and that's actually open to our NGL community as well, if they complete all the activities on that chart by May 1st, they are entered into a drawing for one of 3 Amazon gift cards for $50. And also at the end of the month, on the last Wednesday of the month, we have our regular JDL connection call. And I believe that our next call is going to be about how to stay safe online, which should be a really great call. And a lot of the kids have asked for that information. So I'm really excited about that call as well.
So all of our resources, all of our calls, all of our workbooks and things that I've mentioned on this, they're all available at fanbundance.com/coronavirus. And so we really encourage you to go and check that out. Also, we are planning to run this exact same call back again next week. And we're going to try to expand it to a larger audience. I'm going to open it up to more of my Keller Williams family. We're going to spread it out there. So if you know a family that should participate in this call, we're going to do the exact same thing again next week, only hopefully it'll be better because it'll be my 2nd time doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first time. It's an honor and a privilege. I really appreciate you all showing up so fully. And Brother James, why don't you take us away with some music?
came a time in my life when I knew I had to try and open up my eyes. It seems so simple to me. Why such a struggle to be my own insecurities creeping up on me? No more time in today. Sun is fading away. I'm left feeling cray cray. Well, I need to make a change. It's time to rearrange. Late night in bed I lay. Why does it seem so strange to concentrate on what's great and sustain this feeling? Give it meaning. It is healing with one simple question. And what am I grateful for? I think about the little things. And what am I grateful for? So many simple things. Woke up with a stretch and a yawn. So tired and I know I gotta mow this lawn. Call my mom, I gotta go to the studio a couple hours out and make this song. Could be worse if I was fighting a war. Dying from a disease with no real cure. Homeless on the street, so cold and poor. I'm here complaining about all these chores. What am I so grateful for? I gotta write it down so that it makes some sense about having a job, paying the rent, food on the table, respect for all my ladies and gents, speaking the languages, taking it in, surfing waves in the sunshine and catching a tan, clean clothes on my back and a couple of wraps, my family and kitty cats. How about that? And what am I grateful for? I think about the little things. And what am I grateful for? So many simple things. And what am I grateful for? I think about the little things. And what am I grateful for? So many simple things. What am I so grateful for? 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 Whoa, whoa. I think about the little things. What am I grateful for? Let me see if you guys can clap like this. Go. There's no way it's going to line up because it's a video and we're all across the country, but let me just see you clap anyways. Yeah. And what am I grateful for? All of you folk coming on the Fambundance. Zoom to get the values. Zoom gonna get the dream session. Get a little inspiration and a little motivation. Thank you for joining us for a jam session. I hope you go after all of your dreams. Take care of one another, all of your sisters and your brothers. Yes, all the people out there, yes. Take care of one another because what am I grateful for? Think about the little things. All right, let me see you move. Let me see you move your bodies. Super grateful that all you joined.
That was great.
All right. Much love to you and your families from our family and from the Fambundance family. We hope you enjoy your weekend. We hope we've set you up for success, and we hope to see you again on some of our future calls. Thank you so much.
Woo! We love y'all.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Have a great
Love
weekend.
y'all.
Love y'all.
Leave. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
That leave meeting.